Jai Hind friends. Friends, today we will know why the Bihar Regiment is called Killer Machine and the Army of Bajrangbali. But first, let us know a little about the Bihar Regiment. So this history of valor and courage starts in the British period. Friends, Bihar Regiment was formed in 1941. There are 26 battalions in the Bihar Regiment. Their nicknames are Veer Biharis, Killer Machine, Jungle Warriors, and Bajrangbali's Army. At the same time, their motto is Karam Hi Dharam, work is worship. The center of the Bihar Regiment is located at Danapur Cant, Patna. It is one of the oldest cantonments in the country. At present, in the Bihar Regiment, not only from Bihar but soldiers come from all over the country. By the way, joining any regiment depends on how many vacancies are there in it and how many people want to join. But those with good run get the regiment of their choice. Apart from this, an entry in any regiment is available on parental command. If someone's father has commanded a particular regiment, then he gets entry there. But now the question comes, why are they called Killer Machine and Bajrangbali's Army? So guys, the history of the Bihar Regiment is replete with many tales of valor. Because of this, their enemies know them as Killer Machine, Jungle Warriors, and Army of Bajrangbali. Be it snowy mountains or deserts, the Bihar Regiment has left its mark of valor everywhere. Friends, from small towns of Bihar, soldiers traditionally, the work of recruiting the army was done by Lord Robert Clive in 1757. They were originally hired to serve the British East India Company. Initially, their recruitment was done from Bhojpur, a district of Bihar. But later soldiers were also selected from Buxar, Rohtas, and Kaimur. The specialty of these soldiers was, under any circumstances, to understand and use new technology in the shortest possible time. And these Jawans later became part of the Bengal infantry of the British Army in India. Presently, there are 26 battalions in the Bihar Regiment, which serves the nation with 4 Rashtriya Rifles and 2 Territorial Army battalions. Friends, in the war of 1971, 96,000 soldiers of Pakistan had surrendered in front of the brave soldiers of the Bihar Regiment in Bangladesh. On the other hand, it is also said that of the attitude fighting of the Bihar Regiment soldiers, there was so much fear among the Pakistani soldiers that they were not ready to fight, which was history in military records around the world when such a large army had laid down its arms without fighting. In July 1999, during Kargil War, at point 40 to 68 of Batalik sector, and on the Jubar Bridge, Pakistani infiltrators tried to capture. Then the soldiers of the Bihar Regiment drove them away. Captain Gurjinder Singh Suri, martyred in the Kargil War, with Mahavir Chakra, posthumously during the war, when the soldiers of the Bihar Battalion attacked the enemy, then they shout slogans of Jai Bajrangbali and Birsa Munda Ki Jai. This is the war cry of the Bihar Regiment. Friends, war cry is a kind of slogan which every battalion uses during the attack on the enemy in the war. Each battalion has its separate war cry. According to some retired officers who have served in this regiment, there is so much fear of this army in the enemy that they also call it Killer Machine, Jungle Warriors, and Bajrangbali's Army. First, among the martyrs in the Kargil War, Major Mariyappan Sarvanan comes from the Bihar Regiment. He is also called the hero of Batalik. When the army came to know about the enemy's movements in Batalik, Major Mariyappan was sent for further information. Major Mariyappan saw the enemy bunkers and took immediate action. He single-handedly destroyed 2 bunkers. During this time, he did not even have any backup. But still, Major Mariyappan did not back down and was martyred on 29 May 1999. His corpse was found covered in snow on 3rd July due to the fierce Battle of Kargil. In Major Sarvanam's platoon, Naik Shatrughan was the only survivor in the platoon, who was hit by 3 bullets on the legs. It took him 10 days to reach the unit's camp. He crawled around and somehow reached the camp. And he informed the unit that Major Sarvanam had been martyred. Along with this, he has demolished many bunkers of enemies and almost drove the Pakistanis out of Batalik. Naik Shatrughan later died of gangrene at Field Hospital. Major Sarvanan was the first soldier who, without any information, destroyed the enemy's bunkers and caused heavy damage. And he also killed 11 Pakistani soldiers. And friends, who can forget the recent clash with China, when Indian soldiers had beaten the Chinese well? In fact, on the evening of 15th June, the Indian 3rd Infantry Division commander and several senior officers in the eastern Ladakh sector were present near the junction of the Shyok and Galwan rivers. There were to be talks between the two countries, so the officers were present there. According to the information, including the 16 Bihar Regiment, Indian security forces were asked to ensure that China removed its post from there. After this, a small patrolling team, I Patrol, was sent to deliver this message. At the Chinese observation post, at that time 10 to 12 soldiers were present, whom the Indian patrol asked to leave, as was decided in the high-level military talks, but the Chinese army refused to do so, and the patrol came back to inform its unit. Then, including 16 Bihar's commanding officer, Colonel Santosh Babu, 50 Indian soldiers went to convince the Chinese soldiers that they would have to go back, because they are in the land of India. Meanwhile, by the time the Indian patrol returned, till then the soldiers present at the post in China called their soldiers present at the back in Galwan Valley. After which about 300 to 350 Chinese soldiers had come to the post. When Indian patrol reached again, the Chinese were on their posts at higher places, gathered more soldiers, and had collected stones and weapons. On the arrival of the Indian patrol again, both sides started talking. But soon the argument had started, and Indian soldiers started removing China's tents and equipment. Chinese soldiers had already prepared for the attack, and they did the first attack on the commanding officer of 16 Bihar, Colonel Santosh Babu, and on Havildar Palni. As soon as Santosh Babu was martyred, the soldiers of the Bihar Regiment lost their temper. And despite being few in number, they started attacking the Chinese soldiers rapidly. But Chinese soldiers were throwing stones at Indian soldiers from high places. This fight lasted for 3 hours late at night. Many Chinese soldiers were either killed or seriously injured. In the clash, about 100 soldiers from India's side and more than 350 soldiers were involved from the Chinese side. Despite being less in number, the soldiers of the Bihar Regiment removed China's position at patrolling point 14. So now let's know about their awards as well. Friends, Bihar Regiment has so far received 3 Ashok Chakra, 35 Param Vishisht Seva Medal, 09 Mahavir Chakra, 21 Kirti Chakra, 49 Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, 51 Veer Chakra, 70 Shaurya Chakra, 09 Yudh Seva Medal, 448 Sena medals, 7 Jeevan Raksha medals and 42 Vishisht Seva medals have been awarded. So friends, now you must have come to know that is why the history of the Bihar Regiment is so glorious. And why is it called Killer Machine and Army of Bajrangli? If you want to get more such information related to the Indian Army or want to know about more such regiments, so you will find many videos related to this on our channel. And you will find the link to some videos in the description below. And if you have any questions related to this video, so you can ask us in the comment box below. We will try our best to answer you. And if you liked this video, then share it with your friends as much as possible. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.